Hey everybody, it's Thomas, Get Out of Arizona, in partnership with Foto Forum once again, and you're watching another great episode of Garage Talk. So let's get on it. Now today, we're going to be doing the button tour, okay? Button overview, however you want to word it, of the Canon R100. This is their newest entry-level APS-C sensor mirrorless camera in the R family. This supplants the Rebel series and the M series cameras, thus unifying the system, which I think is a great thing. If you've missed the review, there's going to be a card up top someplace, okay? And if you missed the menu walkthrough, there's going to be a card up top someplace. Check those out, okay? And without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. Now, this camera, this kit, comes with an 18-45. Now, as we roll it over here, you can see it's 18-45 focal length. Now, this has a full frame equivalency of roughly 24-70, and it's going to be a standard issue mid-range zoom lens. So not surprising that that's what this is paired with. Now, as you can see, unlike the Canon R8 kit lens, there is no adjustment for autofocus, and this has no stabilization built in. This is a very, very basic kit lens, and it has a variable aperture of f/4.5 to 6.3. I guess, again, hopefully you guys can see that from up top there. Again, very basic, but we're talking about an entry-level $600 camera. They are not going to throw a whole lot out at you. If you curious, it does have a built-in flash. Okay, not a whole lot, but I mean, it's something. You can go ahead and snap that back down. Here on the side, we have the built-in microphone array. All right, again, this isn't what I would pin my hopes and dreams to, but it's something. If you don't have a microphone yet, there they are. This one also uses that multimedia hot shoe to integrate with certain audio accompaniments, which Canon hasn't released yet, and flashes, which you only have one you can choose from right now. And again, I got to try to remember the name of it. I want to say it's like the R500 or something like that. I'll have it here somewhere as far as that goes. Now, if we look on the side, we have the microphone port, okay, which this is where you're going to do your external mic. You're going to plug that in, shotgun, lav microphone, whatever you want to do there, okay? And then we're going to close that. And these dust covers are actually very, very nice. Now here we have for the wired remote. Some people are still using the wired remote. You can use a wireless remote with this camera, or you can use the app. But if you want to still use a wired remote, there it is. If we come to this side of the camera, we have the HDMI, which is going to be a micro HDMI out, and the USB-C, which does have power delivery, which is nice that they put that on this camera. You can also use this as a mass storage device. Plug this into your computer and be able to retrieve your photos from your SD card, although it'll be a lot slower than if you got a card reader. And you can use this camera as a webcam if you were so desired. So again, these dust covers are actually very high quality. We have the serial number plate right here. You have your 3/8 mount right here for to mount it to a tripod or put a tripod plate or a cage. This is where that would fasten to. Okay, we have our SD card slot, which I believe this is a Type 1 slot on this camera. And, you know, I'm going to put over off to the side. I'm thinking it's a Type 1. It should be a Type 2. But either way, if it's not a Type 2, shame on Canon. I wasn't quite sure when I was going through the review and everything, and I should have asked. It didn't really seem laggy or anything like that, so I just assumed. But I'll put it there. But in 2023, all SD card slots should be a Type 2 slot, in my opinion, my humble opinion, as far as that goes. Now, if we come along the top here, we are going to see a couple things. We have our shutter button. I'm just going to go ahead and turn this on right now, and I'm actually going to put this into the auto AI mode just for kicks and giggles as far as that goes. And I'm going to spin this out really quick. There we go. So we have our shutter button, and this is what you're going to use to when you take photos. Okay. We have this red button right here, which is going to record when you're doing video. And then we have this button, and this is going to help us move through our aperture setting, changing our shutter speed, changing our ISO value. and making other menu selections going through the menu. We obviously have our on-off switch right here. And as we look at I call it a PASM dial. Canon's a little different because we have TV and AV for time value, aperture value, but I'm going to refer to it as a PASM dial because that's essentially what it is. We have our intelligent auto function, okay? This is for photos. This is going to give total control to the camera, and you're just going to turn this into a point and shoot, which if that's what you want, that's fine. But the problem is a lot of times when people, they get stuck on the auto mode, that smart AI mode, and we want to eventually get you to at least an aperture priority mode or a shutter priority mode, if not full manual. And full manual does not mean you're not using autofocus, by the way, in case some of you are wondering. Here is going to be program mode. Now, program mode is going to be, you're going to start taking a little bit of the control of the camera. You're going to have some more leeway in the menu system as far as what you can choose, what you can change and customize. But for the most part, you're still giving quite a little bit of control over to the camera itself. TV stands for time value, and this is shutter priority mode. So you are going to choose your shutter speed. The camera will choose your aperture. And if you have it in auto ISO, it will choose your ISO as well based on your shutter speed. But you're in control when it comes to that. Now, when you're shooting video, you always want to have it in manual or shutter priority so you can make sure your shutter speed stays consistent based on your frame rate, okay? We'll talk about that in a later video. Aperture priority is going to be where you choose your aperture, and the camera will adjust your shutter speed and adjust your ISO if you have it in auto ISO. If we have it in manual, this is where you are going to take full control. And manual mode, you will choose your shutter speed, you will choose your aperture, and if you have it in auto ISO, the camera will then adjust your exposure based on the auto ISO functionality. You can, though, choose to pick a specific ISO. You don't want to go any more than 640 or 1200, whatever the case may be. You can do that. A lot of shooters, they'll put it in manual and they'll adjust their shutter speed and their aperture, but they'll leave it in auto ISO. Makes things a little bit easier. There's no right or wrong, okay? You may get some professionals that get a little, I want to say it, salty. But stop, okay? If you want to roll auto ISO, roll auto ISO. Here we are coming into our video mode, all right? Here we are going to be choosing our creative mode with creative filters. Here we are going to choose the scene that we are in, outdoors, macro, indoor party, whatever the case may be, and the camera is going to take control, all right? Boom, here's the settings, and you're just gonna hit the shutter button, and again, you're giving all that control over to the camera. It's not something that we like to see happen, but again, if you're just starting out and this is what works for you, great, but remember, the goal is to get you into at least one of the priority, if not full manual choices here. And I should note too that doing the creative filters will only affect JPEGs, not RAW images. If you're already shooting RAW, it will actually shoot that RAW image, but then do a JPEG. It'll save a JPEG with that creative filter. You will not get a RAW image that's oversaturated or monochrome or whatever the case may be. Just to let you guys know in case some of you were unaware. This mode is going to be the hybrid auto. So you're going to be taking photos and then it's going to create a little movie, if you will, based on your still images. I've never used this mode. I haven't spoken to anybody personally who has used the mode. From what I've heard, kind of, sort of, I don't want to call it gimmicky. I'm sure there's people that use it and absolutely enjoy it, but that's not something that I would personally use. And again, I haven't spoken to anybody, so I have no firsthand knowledge to that. But this is where you would go if that's what you were after. And then we have our Auto Plus mode. Now this has no custom modes, as you can see on the top dial, no C1, 2, or in some cases C3, but we're back to Auto Plus. And I usually, just for, keep it on manual. Now, what I will do here really quick, and I did not do this on the R8 video, I'm gonna turn this upside down and hopefully you can see this as I scroll through the modes. So here we have the auto intelligent mode, and hopefully again, you guys can see that just fine. Here we are in our program mode, and again, shutter speed and aperture are set automatically. Here is shutter priority, where you set your shutter speed. Here is aperture priority, where you set your aperture. Here is manual, where you have full control. Here is that movie recording, so you can shoot your videos. Here is your creative filters, where you're gonna choose a creative filter. And choosing the creative filter, you would simply just hit choose and then choose what filter you want, and then it's going to apply that. Here is the scene mode. Again, you're going to choose your scene. We're in portrait, landscape, sports, panning, and then this is going to make the adjustments for you, and you don't have to really think about anything. You hit the shutter button and you go to town as far as that goes. Here's that hybrid auto, where you're going to create a movie with your stills, and here's back to intelligent auto, where it's making all of the decisions for you. That just gives you, kind of a visual overview of those modes. Now, as we come to the back of the camera, okay, now keep in mind, this R100 has no touchscreen, and we talked about that in the review, okay? So I can't do anything as far as that goes. So what you see is what you get as far as that goes. Everything is going to be done with the buttons and using, like I said, the wheels, okay? Or I should say the wheel. Not even wheels, there's just one. So this asterisk right here is going to be our auto exposure lock. I kind of dropped the ball on that one, and looking back now on the R8 button tour, I know in my head what I was saying in my head. It didn't come out right, but this is the auto exposure lock. And you can see this little, it's supposed to be a magnifying glass, so if you're looking at a photo, you took a photo and you hit the play button to review it, this is what you're going to zoom in and zoom out with that photo, okay? Here's your info button. So here, we are going to hit this, and we are going to get all the info on the camera, and you can program, you can see just kind of running through that, internally in the menu, what you want to show on the back screen, okay? Here we have our playback button, but there's no card, so it's not going to do anything. And then here we have our menu button, and this is where we're going to set all our menu settings as far as that goes. Now, if we hit the Q button, here's where we can go ahead and go through and scroll for the presets, the background, the brightness, the contrast, menus, color saturation, color tone, okay? Now, I want you to watch something though, okay, as we come back through here, and it's just gonna keep scrolling through, okay? So if we hit menu, we're gonna go back, and now if I go to manual mode though, and select okay, and then, I go through the info, see how that changes? See all this great rich information we have now? Because these are all things that we can control, and so that's, a good illustration of the difference between auto, where you have no really control, that intelligent auto, and manual, where now we can make all these great adjustments. And if we hit the Q button now we can scroll through and we can change all these different items, okay? And these are fully customizable as far as what you want to change. And you could do that within the menu as well, but only if you're in, TV, AV, or manual mode. Doing some of the other modes, it's going to severely stunt what you're all able to accomplish through the menu system. And then of course we could see here, by pressing different directions on the D-pad, we're going to get a different outcome. So here is going to be our cycling through the aperture, okay, our exposure compensation, and our shutter speed. So now we see it's on shutter speed, we come to our wheel up here, and we can change our shutter speed. If we press up again, we're scrolling through and we can change our aperture. And if we press up again, we can change our exposure compensation, which you should never change and just leave it at 0 for all intents and purposes. And then, we have our ISO, so we can choose, but we're in auto right now. This is going to be our drive mode, and then we would choose continuous shooting, timer, timer, continuous with the timer, as far as that goes, and then we would make our selection. And then this last one is going to be for our flash. So we could flash off, flash on, and yeah, so that's how you would scroll through all of that. So again, we don't have a touch screen, but we still are able to navigate fairly easily through that quick menu system, and I will give Canon credit. They did a good job of allowing that to happen, where some other systems are still a bit fumbly. You know, I shoot Sony professionally. I love the Sony cameras, but Sony's is a little bit behind, like on the ZV-E10. Now, I will say the ZV-1, the touchscreen and everything like that's absolutely amazing, but we're not talking touchscreen. We're talking a static screen that you really have no control over as far as that goes. So yeah, not a whole lot of buttons with this camera. There is a diopter, a kind of sort of diopter, and hopefully I'm going to zoom in as much as I possibly can from the top. You can see this. This is what we're going to do the adjustment with a diopter. So it's not a dial on the side, it's a bar on the bottom. This will allow you to shoot, say like if you're like me and you have reading glasses, I don't shoot with my reading glasses on, I would adjust the diopter until that interior portion in the viewfinder was razor sharp, kind of like at the optometrist. You know, is this one sharper, is this one sharper? You kind of go through that. And once everything's sharp, you know that it's set. Anything looks blurry, this is the first thing I usually check. Usually once, twice a month, someone comes in and, you know, it's a quick adjustment. And they didn't realize it was there, and, you know, they're happy to, you know, find out it is there. But that's usually when things go haywire. That's the first thing I check as far as the EVF goes. So again, guys, this is a really simple camera, okay, to learn with. And I think Canon did, you know, a good job overall. Choosing what to leave in and what to leave out is difficult, especially when we have budget in mind. This camera does not have IBIS, so some of those things that you see in the higher level Canon cameras will not be present here. And it's just a fact. Again, we're talking a $600 entry-level camera, but the simplicity, okay, is what makes this camera so beautiful. And at $600, it's a great camera for someone just starting out. Maybe a parent's, you know, buying a camera for their child because they're taking photography classes. This would be a really good option. And again, this does supplant the Rebel series cameras, which were great cameras, and the M series cameras, which again were great cameras. I just wish Canon would have given that camera a little bit more support than what it did. So before we wrap up, let's talk a little bit about our partner, Foto Forum. Now, Foto Forum has been serving the photography community in the Valley of the Sun, that's Phoenix, Arizona, for over 50 years now, okay? And to be quite honest, statewide, all right? I've been there for 2.5 years now, a little over 2 years, and I have customers from the Navajo Nation, down from Tucson, Douglas, Sedona, Prescott, you know, here all over the valley and everything like that. We're state known, okay? And after 50 years and a great reputation, it should be that way. We're a community-oriented shop. You come in, you can ask questions, we're happy to teach. We offer classes. I facilitate group photo walks, group hikes, group rides. Get out of Arizona, okay? It's a whole lot of fun, my friends. We're not here to demean or make you feel bad or anything like that. We're willing to help you on your journey. And there's been quite a few times I've learned a lot from my customers as well too, because I don't know everything, yeah? Nobody does. And so it's great to have that dynamic, that relationship with our customers and everything. They're very loyal, and we appreciate that. And our cinematography and our videography customers too, over the last couple of years, we have made great strides to support that community, because it is growing, my friends, here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm telling you right now, okay? Another couple of years, and we're gonna be a hub for, I'm telling you, we've got a lot of great people doing a lot of great stuff, guys and gals, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. Foto Forum, there's gonna be a link down below for our social media. You can always reach out through that channel, Instagram, or you're free to call the shop with any of your questions, all right? And if you want, you just come on in, say hello to me or one of my great coworkers. All right, so guys, right now there is not a better value camera on the market for $600, okay? Again, being a Sony shooter, the ZV-E10, 750 bucks. I like this, okay? I like what it offers. I like what it can do. Nikon, the Z30, again, I like this. I like what it can do. I like the fact that this has an EVF. The ZV-E10 is a great camera, and I get it. It's geared towards vloggers and everything like that. But just for a good all-around camera to learn photography on, not vlogging, not the Insta famous or the TikTok famous or whatever like that. I love this camera. And I said it in my review, the same thing. For $600, you can't go wrong. So come down to the shop, check it out. If you have any questions as far as the buttons or anything like that, comment down below. It's an interactive channel, my friend, and if I don't have the exact answer you need, I'll reach out to Canon directly. I have a great rep, Canon rep, Stacy, and I'll get the answer for you. I've done it before, and I'm not afraid to do it again. Yeah? All right, my friend. So on that note, seriously, like, subscribe, bell notification icon. It's the trifecta we love so much here at Get Out Arizona. Helps out the channel, helps out the video. All right? Links down below for Foto Forum, Instagram. Follow that. You're essentially following me because I'm the face of Foto Forum right now. I do all the social media, but we have a good time with it, my friends, and that's what we're there to do. Have a good time at the end of the day. Other links, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, the devil's work, but we need that exposure, okay, for Get Out Arizona, for all our group hikes, group photo walks, group rides, everything that we do. Again, we're interactive. We're all about community. There's going to be some affiliate links down below, and if you make a qualifying purchase on an affiliate link, we'll receive a small commission, but you won't be charged any additional money, which is a good thing. And it's the other trifecta we love so much, I should say, park passes, gas money, and coffee money, that it helps us out with. So on that note, my friends, what do we always say? Be kind to yourself and others, be amazing stewards on that trail, and we have to ask, what are you waiting for? Get Out Arizona. My friends, we'll see you on that next adventure. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.